Perfect. Wait, let me go straight from the beginning. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Luna Aslan, and today I'm going to explain what is Noosa about. So at Noosa, we created a circular textile fiber. We created it based on the textile industry that is today the second most polluting in the world, and we really wanted to solve that problem that is the textile waste. Not only offering a solution to brands and to the manufacturer for the post-consumer waste, but also for the pre-consumer waste, that is like all the scraps, the losses, and so on. And in the end, that accounts for like 50% of the textile waste. So based on that, we created Noosa, a biorenewable textile fiber that we make endlessly recyclable thanks to our patented technology. So this is the way we operate. So we start from GMO-free corn that is then transformed into lactic acid. Lactic acid is something natural that your body produces, especially when you have a cramp, and is today used as a natural food conservator. And when you modify it chemically, you reach what we call PLA. So PLA is our raw material, and that is today mainly used for everything that is food packaging. So we really took the challenge to apply it to the textile industry. And so we extrude it into a fiber and then spin it into a yarn. And those are the two products we sell directly to brands or to the manufacturer. So those people will then transform it into an end product. In this case, I take the example of a garment, but it can be also way more technical application. And then it is sold to the end customer. And as Noosa, we guarantee that everything that will be collected will be recycled back into a virgin quality fiber, and this endlessly to reach circularity. This is done thanks to our NooCycle technology, where we do have a lot of patents, and that is the real added value of Noosa. And like it's really a breakthrough, because basically what you can do is that we are able to separate our fiber from any type of contaminants, so any type of pigments, any type of material blend. Whether what you find today in the industry, when we talk about recycled cotton, recycled polyester, it is usually up to 30% maximum that is being recovered. And this is done by mechanical recycling, which is limited for any type of material, and that will deteriorate your product, meaning that you cannot do it like endlessly, but also you will use it back in a lower value application. That's why we talk about downcycling. Then comes the biodegradability.
You don't compare with linen? Do you compare with linen?
No, I mean, not here, but I mean, for everything that is mechanical recycling, it's limited for everyone. Then biodegradability of linen might be similar as the one of cotton and cellulose, which is like basically it's natural fiber, so it's the same. Okay, but then you will see linen in the comparison, you will see. So in terms of biodegradability, we are biodegradable under certain conditions, but we do not play on that because first of all, we have the means to make it circular, and we truly believe in that. But also because the customer are usually not educated in that sense, meaning that we don't want people to think that it's okay to throw away their t-shirt in the street and that it will eventually disappear, because it's not true. And lastly, we show that we're one of the only one in the world today able to recycle at 100% our textile fiber. So we see great advances in PET industry, but nothing applied to the textile industry yet. Sorry, there's a problem when it goes back at the beginning.
I have a question, Luna. And actually, the previous slide you showed is a good one, with the whole chain, let's say.
Like this one?
What do you think is the weakest part of the chain for the complete circular element here?
Definitely the collection. I think it's the biggest challenge of the industry today.
Yeah, and you will need to collect specifically the clothes made with these materials, right?
Yeah.
Do you, as a company, also want to support, apparel companies with this, or do you see your role purely on, the first part of the chain?
So first of all, we are very upstream and very downstream, since we also recycle it. But definitely, we offer some support to the brands to help them recover it and like collect it properly. We also accompany them a lot in the eco design of the product at the really beginning to make sure that it goes through our recycling process. But I think that it really depends on the application and the strategy of the brand. So we haven't been through all the application here, but for example, it will be very different if you sell, for example, if Zara makes a t-shirt with Noosa fiber, or if you do like curtains for hotels. Like at Zara today, they already have like collection systems, so you can definitely rely on their like logistics. They're already educated their customer and so on. So this is pretty much like established. Whether like if you stay purely in B2B, actually you can really reduce the length of the loops. For example, an hotel changes its curtains every 5 years. So you know that actually every 5 years you will recover like, I don't know, X tons of curtains at the same time from the same person. Because if you rely on the B2C, of course, the goal is not to decrease the quality. So I'm really happy if we can be able to recover the t-shirt in 15 years. We shouldn't like retrieve like t-shirts that are in perfect state and can still be used, basically. So on top of that recycling aspect, we also care about our whole environmental impact, and this is what you can see in the tab below. So we did, and we do have a life cycle assessment analysis. This is based on a Hague index that is quite used in the fashion industry. That is a good starting point to actually compare traditional material. So in green, you have everything that is natural origin fiber. They usually have a pretty high score simply because of the culture that is very water intensive. And so we showed that we have on average an environmental impact that is 50% lower than conventional cotton. Again, there's a lot of cotton. And in the score, we already integrate the energy needed for the full recycling. So we try to continuously improve it. Sorry, there's really a bug. Voila. And on top of that, we show that our fiber shows great intrinsic properties that are particularly interesting for the textile industry, such as increased breathability, low odor retention. It is low flammable, bacteriostatic, so it avoids like bacterial growth. It's hypoallergenic. It has a pH really close to your skin, so it provides like comfort, and it's also stable to UV. I'm really sorry. Voilà. So based on that, you can think of many different applications, and this is where the market where we see the greatest demand today. So it's definitely like apparel and clothing industry with a focus on activewear and underwear, but also everything you can find at your place or in your office, like curtains, carpets, and stuff like this. The whole bedding industry, whether it's the filling of the mattresses or the cover of the mattresses, and also a big demand in the workwear industry for like medical blouses and so on. So where do we stand today? We are established.
Maybe before we continue, a question on my side on those applications on previous slides. Sure. What is going to be your priority in terms of development in the applications? Because you mentioned the B2B and the B2C. Even in the like apparel is the first on the page, activewear is the second, whereas on the B2C side, the recollection is going to be not only, as we mentioned, in terms of logistics complicated, but also there's going to be low incentive for a customer to bring back his used T-shirt 10 to 15 years later. So I'm wondering what is the level of priority that you're giving to the different applications, and if you're working on prioritizing the right topics.
Sure, it's definitely a good question. It's true that when I started Noosa, I really only thought about the fashion industry. It's only after that I realized like more technical industry. As you mentioned, I think today this is where you have the biggest interest, but to me, it's a very long shot because you also have to educate the end customer, have all this logistics. And for that, we're lucky also because European Union is putting like quite strong incentive and legislative for textiles, but I think it will come in a second time. Today, I focus priority on the workwear industry because we believe that it's quite a simple product. You know, when you go into bedding, into carpet, you have a lot of regulation. It can be quite technical and can take a long time to develop your product. Today, the workwear industry, for most of them, they already have a loop system, meaning that if I take the example of a medical blouse, like a nurse, she will just put her blouse in some kind of bin at the end of the week. And there's an external company that is leasing those blouses, and they do wash it and they do replace it when it's not okay. Today, they burn it. They could just bringing back to us directly, basically.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Miguel, I think you're muted.
Yeah. Move on. We have a very few time left. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, and it started again at the very
Okay,
beginning.
that we understand. Big issue. You're back at.
Sorry. Okay, so we are based in Belgium. Our production takes place in China. Today, we're a complementary team of 6 people. People mainly working in the labs. The chemical labs are in Brussels, but we are now investing in expanding the team for the commercial side. We do own 4 patents at the time, and we will file 2 more by the end of the year. We have this trust of investors, so we did a seed round in March 2020 of €500,000, and we won the prize of the most innovative startup in January this year of another €500,000. We do have a concrete and tangible innovative product that is already, like, the version 1 is good to be sold and is actually sold, but we're already working on the version 2.0 of our product. And we have the interest of notable brands. So today we work in product development with like the biggest European brands, let's say, in the previous industry I mentioned. So voilà.
Okay.
Sorry. So today our sustainable impact, I listed 3 key environmental benefits that were accredited by the Solar Impulse Foundation. So we are a bio-based material, meaning that you don't have to drill petrol anymore to produce some clothing. We are 100% recyclable, and also we have a 30% reduction of CO2 emission compared to conventional cotton again. I think we really, I shortlisted the SDGs that
Luna,
that are
very quick question. And for water usage compared to cotton, do you have an idea there?
Yes, so our life cycle assessment is comparing a 100% t-shirt Noosa, the whole life cycle, with a 100% cotton. So whatever.
But I think it would be important to compare with local production of fiber, which is linen, because there is something growing as well, and it's really local fiber. And comparing with the worst one, which is cotton, might be a bit too easy to get arguments.
The reason why we compare ourselves to cotton is that, to be honest, the most used fiber in the world today is polyester and cotton. So when we go see people, they're interested only by those 2. And so we compare ourselves with synthetics and traditional natural fibers. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's maybe also linked to the fact that it's fast fashion, which is not sustainable, and sustainable can come either from the fabric or from the way you use it. And if you keep a clothes very long, this is also part of sustainability.
Yeah, I do agree, and I know all the advantages of linen. It's just that beyond like the fast fashion industry, to be honest, linen is really like a small share of the market. And if you go for more technical application, really often it's like polyester or cotton. So those people today, you have to tell them like, okay, I will replace that and with like similar properties, because linen is also very particular in its structure and its rigidity and the properties it offers.
Okay, we have 2 minutes left, so maybe one more question from the jury. And
so I may have one question. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was interested in terms of the coloring, like which type of dyeing process do you typically work? Because like that's also a huge source of the environmental impact on the whole process, and which seems to me in your assessment quite external. You only focused on the fiber, depending on how compatible you are to certain low impact or lower impact dyeing processes, that will have a huge impact on your end-to-end overall impact.
So actually, we do not control that part. The impact in the loop, like the brand will pick which color they use, basically. So we compare ourselves with polyester for that. So we do disperse dyeing. This is the technique to dye our fiber. And we are currently investigating also all the natural dyeing solutions to like push it to the brands to say, okay, if you want to decrease your impact further, you can use those ones that we tested with our fiber, and here are the instructions to dye it properly.
Okay, guys, Thank you very much, Luna, for this very interesting pitch. It was very active, a lot of questions, so I'm sure the jury was really interested. This is the time. Time is over, so I will ask the jury to join the jury's room to deliberate for 2 minutes, and then we will continue with the next participant. And